Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning all. Everyone, we are from Group 1, consisting of 4 people with myself, Ferry Albianto, and my friends Widya Tama, Risna Wayudi Dongoran, and Isa Cesara Nurafafa. It's good to be here today. In here, we will present our journal review. The title of my presentation is Discovery Learning Model in Chemistry Lessons. Here, we, we use three journals for review. The title of first journal is Validity and Practically of Guided Discovery Learning Models for Chemistry Learning in Senior High School. The title of second journal is Effectiveness of Acid-Base Modules based on Guided Discovery Learning for Increasing Critical Thinking, Skills, and Learning Outcomes of Senior High School Students. The title of the journal is Application of Discovery Learning Model to Improve the Understanding Concept of High School Students on Buffer Topic. Do you ever hear what is Discovery Learning Model? Briefly, Discovery Learning Model is one of the learning model designed to improve critical thinking skills and develop active learning method. I have divided my talk into four section topic. The first topic is an introduction to what discovery learning models. The second topic is review journal 1. The third topic is review journal 2. And the last topic is review journal 3. Let's move on the first topic. I will present this first topic. The first topic is an introduction to what discovery learning models. So far, the learning model applied makes students passive who only continuously receive material or teaching from the teacher. So, with the creation of discovery learning model, it is expected that students can play active role in understanding the material by finding and collecting their own information. In the discovery learning model, the teacher is tasked with guiding and directing students to be able to learn and think creatively. The trick is that the teacher only conveys the material in outline and then the students the are required to find as much information as possible, compare, categorize, analyze, integrate, and draw conclusion. To be able to apply the discovery learning models to students, there are several things or procedures that must be done in learning activities. The following are 6 parts of the procedure for applying this learning model. One is stimulation. The teacher will explain the essence of the material present through case examples. That is, it will make students feel confused so that it will encourage them to find out or investigate on their own to be able to understand the material. Two is problem statement. Based on the question of given the student, the teacher encourages student to be able to find a way out from the problem by identifying and making hypothesis or temporary answer to this question. Three is data collection. Students must collect various kinds of information obtained by reading and understanding literature, observing objects, interviewing several sources, conducting trials which later on the data will determine whether or not the hypothesis is made. Fourth is data processing. All data obtained from various sources will be processed by classifying or grouping. Calculation of carried out using a certain way. so that the data will become information that is easily understood by others. 5 is verification. The data that has been categorized will then go through verification process to determine whether the hypothesis is true or not. Next, match the match with what is found where. Then it will be recognited with data processing. 6 is generalization. The result obtained in the verification will be used as the basic principle of generalization, where generalization is referred to as the final stage or the final stage to draw conclusions that serve as the main principle. So, it can be used in all the same event by paying attention to the results of verification first. The discovery learning method will make students play more active role when participating the learning process. In addition, the discovery learning method will also train students' ability to solve a problem. In addition, looking for a way out solution to the problem and looking for ways so that the same problem does not happen again in the future. That was my delivery from the first topic. Let's move to the second topic that will be delivered by Widyatama.
Okay, thank you, moderator, for the opportunity. So, in this opportunity, I will explain about our first journal, and the first journal is about validity and practically object discovery learning models for chemistry learning in science school. Author of the first journal are Ye Yeremedesi, Ye Karim, L. Lofri, V. Vestiet, and G. Guspatni. The title of the journal is about Journal of Physics and year of publication in 2019. Next is article summary. Discovery learning is one of learning models designed to improve critical thinking skills and develop active learning methods based on data obtained with questionnaires given to 33 Sirhat School chemistry teachers in West Sumatra. It is found that the implementation of discovery learning model was not yet effective. Teachers have not been able to fully implement discovery learning syntax as outlined in Ministry of Education Rule No. number 59 in 2014. 87.9% chemistry teachers have difficulty in implementing discovery learning model. Teachers have difficulty in applying the second stage. There is problem statement, the fourth stage data processing, fifth stage verification, and sixth stage generalization of the discovery learning models. This research and development or R&D study adopted for the development model consisting of define, design, develop, and disseminate stage. Observation results were analyzed by present technique, while data of validity and practically of GDLPK model were analyzed with CONCAPA formula. Analysis showed that the average value of kappa moment K were 0.87 for validity tests and 0.91 for for practically tests belonging to very high degree category. Analysis of observation results showed that the average percentage of model implementation were 97% in Seman Y Padang and 87% in Seman Z Padang, having very high degree category. Results showed that the GDL-PK model was valid and practical and could be fully implemented by teacher and student in chemistry learning. Therefore, the developed GDLPK model was feasible as teacher and prospective teacher consideration for senior school chemistry learning. The GDLPK model is one of the appropriate learning models considered by teacher and senior school teacher candidates to be applied in school, either in high, medium, or low level school. Next, critical critique. This journal is very well organized. In this journal, various data are displayed in table from the result of observation, so they are easy to understand. The data in the table show the comparison between the class understudy and the control class, so that the reader can immediately know the conclusion. This journal also refers to one topic, namely the concept of acid base, making it easier to understand. However, this journal has shortcomings. In the introduction, it was that the teachers still had difficulty guiding students in the second stage of discovery learning model, namely the problem statement, but the problem is not discussed how to solve it. And the conclusion of the first journal is implemented for the development model consisting of define, design, develop, and disseminate stage is valid and practical and could be fully implemented by teacher and student in chemistry learning. Thank you. From me, go back with moderator.
Thanks, Tama. That was the delivery of the second topic. Let's move to the third topic that will delivered by Nisa.
Okay, thank you, moderator. Journal 2. Title of the article: Effectiveness of acid-base modules based on with discovery learning for increasing critical thinking skill and learning outcome of senior high school student. Author: Yeremidesi, Y. Kiram, Lilufri, F. Stiet, and G. Guspatni. Title of the journal: Journal of Physics. Year of publication: 2019. Article summary. Journal 2. The goal of this study was to reveal the level of effectiveness of acid-base module based of guided discovery learning (GDL) on critical thinking skills and student learning outcomes in chemistry learning at senior high school. Module effectiveness was determined through quasi-experimental research with a randomized control group, pretest, post-test design. The sample consisted of students as an experimental class and students as a control class. The instrument is constituted of CTS test, pretest, and post-test. Student CTS they were analyzed by Percetic Technicus and improvement of learning outcomes with engaging SPSS software. The average CTS score of students found was with very effective categories and gain experimental class was. Both classes were normally distributed and homogeneous, and the test obtained countable. The research findings show that the use of acid-base modules based on GDL can improve GTS and student learning outcomes in chemistry learning at senior high school. Introduction learning materials are one of the important components in learning activities because by asking learning materials, students can be guided independently. Nowadays, nowadays the availability of learning material is still very limited in school. Teachers should prepare learning materials that can guide students to active and independent learning. Module is one of learning material that guide students independently and teacher can act of facilitators. The research results showed that the use of modules can stimulate students' intrinsic motivation to learn chemistry. Intrinsic motivation students who learning chemistry using model is significantly higher than conventional learning. The use of module in chemistry learning can also increase student activity and learning outcomes. The module developed is based on the syntax of the discovery learning model, which is more helpful for the teacher in guiding students to learn, because it is accordance with the steps of science learning. This module help teacher easily guide students in defining new knowledge and students become more guided in active learning. Discovery learning based chemical modules can improve student learning outcomes, such as in buffer solution material, salt hydrolysis, and electrolyte and non-electrolyte solution. This is because discovery learning is an instructional model that focuses on activeness of learning opportunities for students, directing students to build their own knowledge by experimenting on a domain and deducing conjectures from the result of the experiment. Discovery learning has a positive effect on student success and perfectionism of inquiry learning skill. Article Critic Journal 2. This journal is very well organized. In the journal, various data are displayed in tables from the result of observation, so they are easy to understand. The data in the table shows the comparison between the class understudy and the control class, so that the reader can immediately know the conclusion. The journal also refers to one topic, namely the concept of acid base, making it easier to understand. However, this journal has shortcomings. In the introduction, it was stated that the teacher still had difficulty guiding students in the second stage of the discovery learning model, namely the problem statement. But the problem is not discussed how to solve it. Conclusion learning material are one the important components in learning activities, because by asking learning material, students can be guided independently. Nowadays, the availability of learning materials is still very limited in school. Teachers should prepare learning materials that can guide students to active and independent learning. Module is one of learning material that quiz students individually and teacher can as facilitators based of the result of research and data analysis. It can be concluded that the use of acid-based module based on guided discovery learning can improve critical thinking skill and learning outcomes and high school students with a very high level of effectiveness. Therefore, this module is suitably as be teacher to improve critical thinking skill and improving learning outcomes of high school students. Modules that are structured based of the syntax of the discovery learning model help teachers easily guide students in discovering new knowledge and students become more guided in active learning. Thank you.
Thanks, Nisa. That was the delivery of the third topic. Let's move to the fourth topic that will delivered by Krishna.
Okay, thank you, moderator. The next journal is Application of Discovery Learning Model to improve the understanding concept of high school students on buffer topic. In general, students have difficulty understanding concepts. The lack of understanding of this concept is probably the main factor causing student difficulties in solving reaction equation and mathematical calculation in chemistry learning materials. One of them is in the buffer material. This is seen from the lack of student ability to distinguish between the determination of the pH of the acid buffer solution and the alkaline buffer solution. So, that has an impact on student scores, which are about 75% of students who are below the minimum completeness criteria standard or KKM. The phenomenon of teaching that doesn't involve students directly in teaching and learning activities causes students to have poor psychomotor and affective abilities. Students rarely discuss and collaborate with other students, resulting in students being passive. Another major contribution factor in that learning is only teacher-centered, or in other words, the teacher dominates learning. The teacher conveys more material directly to students, which causes students to have difficulty at developing their own concepts. Therefore, teachers as educators need to create innovation, namely by choosing strategies or ways of delivering material in order to obtain an increase in student understanding of concepts. For example, by guiding students together to be actively involved in the learning process and helping students develop thinking skills according to their intellectual level will further strengthen student understanding of the concept being taught. One of the things that the researchers think can solve this problem is the application of the discovery learning models. The discovery learning models emphasizing the importance of understanding a concept through active students' involvement in the learning process. This learning model emphasizes the formation of student knowledge from experience during learning. Learning activities by means of this discovery can increase student interest in learning chemistry in a way that is more fun than conventional method. In science lesson, activities which are based on inquiry using the discovery learning method can be used with the aim of attracting student attention and enabling them to participate more in class. The stages in the implementation of the discovery learning model include stimulus, statement problems, data collection, data processing, verification, and the last stage is a generalization. In the data processing stage, a conceptual understanding can be formed, especially in the material of the buffer solution, such as understanding the concept of a buffer solution, the concept of an acid buffer solution, an alkaline buffer solution, and the concept of pH of a buffer that is added a little acid or base. One thing that must be considered in the application of discovery learning is the teacher must be competent in managing student learning time to suit the step of this method. One thing that must be considered in the application of discovery learning is the teacher must be competent in managing student learning time to suit the step of this method. One of the shortcomings of the discovery learning model is it takes up a lot of time because teachers are required to change their teaching habits, who generally act as information givers into facilitators, motivators, and mentors. Model discovery learning can improve student achievement in cognitive, affective, and psychomotor aspects. Okay, next, journal critic. This journal is very good because in this journal it can be seen the study aims to describe an increase in students' understanding of the buffer solution material after the discovery learning model is applied. This model focuses on understanding knowledge through active participation in learning activities. The type of research used is pre-experiment with one group pretest post-test design. Testing the research data using descriptive statistical analysis of conceptual understanding. Based on the result of the analysis show that there is an increase in a good understanding of the concept by applying the discovery learning model to the buffer material. Although overall this journal is quite good, according to the reviewer view, there are still some shortcomings in the reading, namely the explanation and presentation of the material is too short and there is no explanation of each syntax in the learning model used, so that readers will be confused in understanding it. Okay, next, conclusion from Journal 3. Application of the discovery learning model can improve student conceptual understanding. Namely, model discovery learning can improve student achievement in cognitive, affective, and psychomotor aspect. Okay, I will return it to the moderator.
Thanks, Ritsna. This is the end of our presentation. In brief, the application of the discovery learning model has a positive impact on student understanding. Thank you for your attention. If you have any question, please write your question on the class discussion forum. And we close. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning.